Hi guys, today we're going to read Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Book by Lauren Child, starring the divinely talented Miss Goldilocks, guest appearance from the Little Bad Wolf. Her beloved storybooks, although he wasn't a good reader. It didn't matter because he could tell a lot from the pictures. Herb liked the scary ones best, with the pictures of dinosaurs gobbling up other dinosaurs, or swooping vampires chasing people who had foolishly decided to go for a midnight stroll without any garlic. Herb reads his books everywhere. This was why many of the pages were stickily stuck together, soggy around the edges, and usually had bits of banana cookie and the odd pea squashed between the pages. On this particular night, Herb's friend, as he was staying over earlier, the two of them had been playing a game involving messing up the room quite a bit, and by the evening, Herb had trouble even finding his bed. By the time he had, as he was already snoring silently, so Herb searched around for a book to amuse him until he dozed off, but the only one he managed was to find a book of fairy tales. It hadn't been looked at a very long time, and it was quite dusty. It was actually quite exciting, but even so, Herb's eyes soon became heavy, and before he could close the book, he fell asleep with his head on the page. Herb woke up with a start to hear a strange, high-pitched shrieking noise. He looked over to see if Ezzy was awake, but there was no sign of him at all. Furthermore, his bed had become sort of lumpy and huge, which was funny, because Herb had always found his bed to be just right. What are you doing here? How did you be on this page? I'm the star and I say you're not allowed in this story! Shrieked the shrieking thing. Where am I? Stammered Herb. On my page! Shrieked the girl. But who are you? Asked Herb. Not sure that he wanted to know. I! Said the little girl, somehow managing to raise her voice even higher. I am Goldilocks, of course, and this is my story! And that's when it dawned on Herb that he had fallen in through the book. Herb scrambled out the bed as fast as he could, scooted down the stairs, and went into 3 different sized bears. Whoops! I'm so sorry, squeaked Herb, terrified. I didn't mean to be here.
And does all the time,
said the small bear, scowling at Goldilocks. How about some porridge? Says the medium-sized bear. You might find it too hot or too cold. I'm afraid we're out just right.
Oh, that's quite all right,
says the largest bear.
It could happen to anyone.
Coughed Goldilocks.
in case your free brains have forgotten this story, it's called Goldilocks and the 3 Bears,
Not the little show-off in pajamas has breakfast. Herb ran for it. He ran past 2 children nibbling a house made of gingerbread. I wouldn't do that, called Herb. Oh, get lost, shouted the children. He ran past a man climbing up what looked like a long braid of hair. Cried the voice belonging to the hair. Herb ran all the way through the forest, and when he saw a cat wearing a feathered hat and heeled boots, Herb ran a bit faster. At long last, he came to an enormous door. It was difficult to open because the illustrator had drawn the handle much too high up. After 3 attempts at jumping, Herb managed to grab it and slowly creaked the door open. There seemed to be a party going on. Everybody was dressed to the nines and dancing in wigs. One by one, the dancers noticed her, and the music ground slowly to a halt. It was so quiet you could have heard a tea drop. Or was it him? Well, you could have heard something drop. Had it not been for the couple in crowns having a furious decision in loud voices. Where did that word, Prince Charming? Never mind him. Where the is my throne? Herb couldn't help noticing that the queen had a mustache drawn on a ballpoint pen. And who you might be? Demanded the queen. This is a private royal party, you know. No one in pajamas is invited. I'm Herb, said Herb. I own this book. Oh, so you're the doodler who ruined my looks? She said, pointing at her mustache. And where's my throne, you scissor snipper? It was then that Herb remembered last year when he was much younger. He had drawn mustaches and glasses on many of his book characters and added telephones to all the rooms. He had been going through a scribbling phase. He also cut out the royal thrones for a model spaceship that he and Eddie were making. And he had a horrible feeling that he might be responsible for the disappearance of Prince Charming. As Herb wondered desperately what to do next, he noticed his pencil case laying on the floor. He had been looking for it. Mom, it is all right. I can draw you a new throne, he said. Make sure it's got lots of twirly bits. Bluster the king. And I wanted gold. Of course, ordered the queen. The queen did not look impressed. Then, finding the eraser, Herb started to rub away the queen's mustache.
Oh, that really hurts! Seize him!
She roared. Herb made a dash for it. There wasn't time to get to the door, but by snipping a hole in the palace floor, Herb managed to wriggle through onto the next page. He could hear the queen shouting. Herb found himself in an oddly arranged room. Who are you, you mately little rodent? Looking up, Herb saw Cinderella's wickedly mean stepmother and her ugly daughters. I'm Herb, called Herb. What are you doing up there? I wonder, are we pretending to be flies? Scoffed the woman. Or could it be that someone real good for nothing child tore out our page and put it back upside down? I wonder who would do that, said Herb, blushing slightly. Now we can't get to the ball and Prince Charming can't fall madly, utterly in love with us. It's so unfair! cried the pudgy sister. He wouldn't look twice, you, snapped the skinny one.
Oh, do be quiet!
Hissed the stepmother.
I'm feeling queasy!
Just then, the telephone started to ring. Sticking telephones into fairy tales had seemed funny at the time, but Herb could see that they could turn out to be a rather nonsense. Hello? Why, hello, Your Majesty. Yes, as a matter of fact, there is a little pajama boy here. He did what? Oh, did he? Don't worry, I'll deal with the little weasel, she said, giving her a shivering look. Oh, and by the way, if you see that nosy Goldilocks, tell her to bring a ladder over.
So this is your doing!
She screamed, leaping onto her chair. I'm going to make you wish you'd never opened a book! Herb speedily drew a door on the wall, ran through it, and slammed it shut. Come back here, you little horror! She shrieked. Herb was in a very dusty kitchen. His feet were sticking to the floor, and there were what looked like giant cookie crumbs all over the place. Sorry about the dirt, said a braggled yet pretty girl. Aren't you meant to be at the royal ball? Asked Herb. Yes, but I had to come because the prince achoo was late and my party dissolved in rags and I looked achoo a mess, and then my carriage turned back into a pumpkin, which was so embarrassing. A cup of achoo tea. She was really nice, and Herb was beginning to feel extremely guilty because he had remembered where Prince Charming was. Herb had cut him out to make a birthday card for his mother. If I only could get out of this book, I could find the prince for you. Ooh, I know who can help, said Cinderella, picking up her phone. Drat! Absolutely maddening! I was just in the middle of a spell. This had better be important. It's an emergency. Absolutely everybody after me. You have to help me get out of this book, yelled Herb. Well, let me see. Hey, are you my fairy godchild? No, you are not. I don't have boys, only girls. Worst look. B, do you expect when you go about scribbling and snippering and generally causing mayhem? This is no way to treat a book, you know? And C, jumping into other people's stories really is very rude. But I cannot find my way out, pleaded Herb, near his wit's end. All right, keep your pajamas on. I suppose I'll have to come to the rescue as always. Now, where did I put my wand? At that moment, the door flew open. He's in your kitchen looking for my food! It was a mistakenly ear-piercing voice of Goldilocks. Right behind her was a wicked stepmother, and she was not in a pretty mood, having snagged her stockings, climbing a ladder of the upside-down room. "What shall I do?" asked Herb, flustered. "Quick, jump, climb on the text," said the fairy godmother. Herb grabbed hold of the letters and scrabbled up the sentences. Some of the words were a bit weak, and the whole pile started to wobble.
He's getting away!
Screamed Goldilocks so loudly that the whole book shook and slipped off the bed, sending her falling headlong through the air onto his own bedroom floor. "What's happening?" squeaked a startled Daisy, sitting bolt upright in bed. As you can imagine, it all took some explaining. Ezzy and Herb spent the rest of the night putting the storybook back into rights, rubbing out mustaches, cleaning out crumbs, and blowing away dust. The bewildered Prince Charming was peeled off the birthday card and taped back into the ballroom. His dancing would never quite be the same again due to Sir Verlag cursing. It was tempting to leave the wicked stepmother's room upside down, but Herb resisted. However, he couldn't help drawing a padlock on the Three Bears' front door, and as he just couldn't help stick a wig on Goldilocks. Well, serves her right for being a meanie. So the next time Herb opened the book, he saw a little girl standing outside the Three Bears' cottage, desperately trying to open the door. A very cross little girl with mosey brown hair. The end.